So thank you so much for joining me. My special guest today, I always say the Just Start with Janes are filled with people that are so energetic and so creative, and their whole mission is to serve their community just better and better and better. And certainly Southwest Health in Platteville, Wisconsin is no exception to that. But I have with me Carrie Sue Stang. She is the Director of Rehab Services in Platteville, Wisconsin at the Southwest Health. You also have been either a longtime leader or a member of a team called Agents for Awesome, kind of the superhero undercover. They are the patient experience team for 10 years. Carrie Sue and I were just saying, gosh, we've been together with you guys for 10 years. We could totally have raised a fourth grader by now. Like, what have we been doing with our lives, right? So, but your journey is 10 years old, and that's amazing. So what I also love that the Agents for Awesome, Agents for Awesome, right, have
Yep.
done is you guys have done a great job with that whole diffusion curve and adoption of change, and just keep going back and picking up. And, I always describe this, that we have to think about putting positive change in place like a huge like a huge boulder rolling down the hill, and you just pick up more people as you go. And people like me who forget, what am I supposed to be doing on any daily, basis, are like, oh yeah, that's right. They reminded me I'm supposed to be listening. I'm supposed to be practicing active listening. So the positive communication standard that Carrie Sue and I are going to talk with you about today is listening. It's it's a quiet standard, but it is the loudest one of all, because 67% of our communication with other human beings is actually where we shut our one mouth, and listen with our two ears, right? And when Sue and I added, it wasn't one of the original 6 positive communication standards, and now there are 12, because I just had this epiphany one day when I was thinking about the very best caregivers I have ever had, the great fortune to have worked with or led. And what was one thing that they all had in common when I wrote down their names and wrote down great things about what they had done, and it was that they listened. They listened no matter the situation. Nobody was a frequent flyer in the ER. Nobody was, the same complaint that they came in with 3 weeks later or earlier. What's different this time, right? That inquisitive listening. Also a great leadership trait. And I love to tell the story. Sue and I actually tell this story everywhere, because I think we were together when we heard it, about the time that we were in your hospital and we were doing a leadership training, and we were talking about the positive communication standards and how the journey had changed leaders. And one man, you'll admit, Mike, Mike Klein, I hope he's not watching right now. He probably doesn't do Facebook, but, he's kind of a gruff appearing older gentleman, right? Would you say?
hmm Yeah.
Stern, kind of a stern. And he said, I can't believe what a better person I am, because I've learned all this. I can't. And we were like, well, what do you mean? Because he just randomly said that. And he said, I've learned how to listen. I've been taught this. I've learned how to express gratitude to everyone around me. And through those things, now I'm a better husband, a better grandfather, a better friend, just better, and a better leader at the same time. So, our vision is to inspire positive change in healthcare. But when you change positively, you don't just change at work, right? Carrie Sue is probably a great listener. You don't like zip that off and, I'm going to leave that at the office. It's going in my cubby. I'm not going to take my great listening skills home with me, right? And it reminds me of the time that, my colleague Julie Conisette taught her children about, expressing gratitude, and they talked about bucket filling versus bucket sucking. And when her daughter was really, really little, she said to her mom, "You're sucking my bucket today." So, it's like we all take this stuff home with us. So it's important that we create better people, right? And I think at Southwest Health in Platteville, Wisconsin, you have created better people. So tell me, what was the name of your listening campaign? Did you give it a catchy title of some sort?
Listen up.
Listen up. Okay, cool. So the patient can speak up and we listen up. Perfect. And how did you train it?
Our Agents for Awesome team, we always kind of went back to always videos and skits, and we tried to keep things light and hopefully keep people's attention as they watch some of our things. So we did a little a video or a skit with a provider that came in to listen to a patient, and the patient had a lot of concerns, and the doctor was on the phone, a lot of, like looking away, not engaging with the patient. And then we did another one where we really were doing our good job and listening, and getting rid of those nonverbal signs that kind of the patient knew
Yeah.
that the doctor was not listening. So we did it both ways, and then we kind of talked through the big points of what our staff should be aware of when they're working with the patient and they want to truly listen, the important parts that they should be aware of.
Absolutely. Another reason why we added listening to, our positive communication standards for every employee to listen to each other, and for us to listen to our patients as well, was, it's an HCAHPS question. Like, were you listened to? Were you listened to? So it's a really, really big deal. So, what do you think has made the biggest impact? I mean, I told you what your leader told us when we were there, but you work there, you live there day in and day out. What's the biggest impact that you've noticed?
I mean, definitely our communication scores with the nurses and our in outpatient settings have been elevated. I mentioned to you that the doctor scores didn't improve, but at least we maintained where we're at. So we were really happy during the past couple years that we were able to keep on with some good listening skills.
Great. Well, and that's true. Everyone else in the country is experiencing a dip in scores. And, how can our communities on one hand say, wow, you're our healthcare heroes, and on the other hand say, but we're going to mark you down. But that's okay. I mean, we still have to be held to really high standards, right? We still want them to hold us to high standards. And for you guys to maintain and improve your scores is just amazing. And it's because you have these high standards that you've been able to convey, right? You state what they are. So you said you measured communication and how well people were listened to. Have you had any negativity? Has anybody said, "This is dumb, I hate it"? Or, did you experience anything like that from your employees?
We did not. Everyone was on board, and really, we know how important it is for our customers to continue to come back. If they're not heard, they're going to go somewhere else where someone's going to listen to their concerns.
Right, exactly. People vote with their feet. They vote with their feet. Do you have any situations where potentially you became a better listener as a person or a leader? Like, did your employees ever notice a difference? Or
Yeah, I mean, through this, it was teaching everyone and myself that it's not just our customers, but it's our coworkers, the other people that we work with. I mean, it's so important that we're listening to each other. And when staff come to me and have concerns, or between each other, if there's not a truly a good listening, where you're not just hearing someone, but you're listening and engaged, I think that really has made a big impact, again, on my leadership skills, and I think everyone else.
good. I love it because you're a great leader. Is there anything else that you could think of you'd like to add?
Um, I don't think so. Again, I think thinking of, with the training, it was going around with the nonverbal cueing, how important it is not just to look at just the listening part, but what other things are you doing with your eyes? Are you making eye contact? Are you smiling? Are you nodding your head? You want that other person to know that you are engaged and you are really
Right.
listening.
Put down your phone, people.
That's right.
Take your hands off the keyboard. Put down your phone. Yeah, I mean, I literally had to train myself to do that as a leader because, I had my office set up stupid, but when people came in to talk to me, they had to like sit, across from me, and I would be on my computer, and you have to like physically take your hands off. And at first, I had to put them underneath my legs. It's like, okay, I'm not touching the computer. I'm not. So even if it's, yeah, the fifth employee that day complaining about the same thing, which happens, right? So, well, you all out there in the WWW, the worldwide Facebook fans of the framework world, you can have what Carrie Sue has. Go to our website, www.capstoneleadership.net. On the homepage, scroll down 3/4 of the way. There's a giant button that says just start. And that's where you can hook up with us and talk with us about our positive communication standards for both employees and patients. So we would love to chat with you. Well, thank you, Carrie Sue.
You're welcome, Jane. It was great to see you.
Yes, you rocked it as usual. Have a good day.
You too.